Okay, this video I'm going to do is in relation to the recent debate, which in brief on the debate was, I don't know, there's not much you can say from it. It kind of appeared that Trump was more debating the commentator than he was Joe Biden. It seemed that, in my opinion, most of what the commentator had selected as questioning, or his line of questioning, as he claimed, was more or less a line of intentional questioning to cause argument. It was a pit bull kind of questioning line where it pitted Trump against Biden and Biden against Trump, creating a conflictive, whole entire debate of conflict. And in my opinion, it appeared the commentator was more biased, and favored Joe Biden, and more or less tried to take Joe Biden's position as the debated. He acted more as he was being debated with Trump than Trump was debating with Joe Biden. So that's in brief my opinion of what it was. It was a very controversial debate. But anyway, one of the other things I wanted to touch on was, as you can see above me here, it says American Patriots and the Proud Boys. I would like to say, my son runs. He started quite a few months ago. A while back, way back, months ago, he started doing flag drops for Donald Trump, where you'd stand out with the groups, and people come out and put their flag up and wear their Trump gear and stand out there and support the president. And it's grown into quite a big thing. It's spread pretty wide around Florida here. He's gotten recognition. He's been on. Did a little interview on InfoWars with it, and it attracted quite a good crowd of people. One of the things with the flag drops that my boy does is, you get a lot of elderly people out, and you get a lot of just regular, common, good people out. They have their flags, and they do what they want to do. And in relation to that, with the Proud Boys, we have had a thing more than several weeks ago, actually several months ago. My son approached me about, because he had some of the Proud Boys show up at his Hernando County drop, and that's an organization that seemed to have started up kind of as a spoof back in 2016 by its original founder. It was just a kind of a spoof thing that he started up, and they weren't really serious about it. But eventually it did get picked up by patriot-minded individuals. It appears that kind of got sick of the fake online patriot groups that were popping up. Many of them calling themselves the 3%er groups. I'm a 3%er, but the online groups, that there were so many fake ones that are popping up, and just what we call bluntly ass-sitters, people who really had no real intention of doing anything but sitting online as keyboard warriors or what have you, and never doing anything really out in the real world. They just like to be on the computer venting, ranting, and making fools of themselves for the majority. But these guys, a lot of them got together, and they kind of snatched up the heading of the Proud Boys. Proud American Boys is, Proud Americans. And there was a lot of, when my son had mentioned to me several months ago about this, I said, well, let's look into it, because we'll see what it is. First, looking into it, I mean, you look in the media, and they have all kind of things about, trying to make this group out to be a racist group, and almost some of them even call them Nazi and fascists. And but you have to dig a little deeper. And when you dig a little deeper, you come to find out they're none of those things. These are just true, good, patriot Americans who have had enough. They've literally, I agree with them, they had enough. And they're not willing to stand by and have dirt kicked in their face and not do nothing, especially here in Florida. One of the head guys, real quick, I'm just going to transition over here, and we'll take a look real quick at what we were talking about. So here, I just want to play a quick bleep on it here. I'm sure everybody remembers it from the debate.
I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
With a white supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
Now, the main part I want to play here, this Joe Biden says Antifa's an idea, it's not real. And pay attention to that, and we'll go back real quick where it's mentioned about.
I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about.
We're going to back up a little so you can hear.
Stand by.
Proud Boys and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
You got it.
So you hear Joe Biden say this, and I just want to real quick go here. You can see this is my son's page. He started quite a while back. This one here is the Spring Hill's got 1,400 members in it. We all get together on Fridays from 5 till 7. Get out there, as you can see in that picture at the top, and if you were to go to that site, you'd see the many different videos and pictures of when they're out on Fridays and what they do in the group in supporting the president and flag drops. And then there's also the one that's in Pasco County, does the same thing. We get out and there's several different locations in each county on each corner on the major highways where people get together and they support the president. One thing I'd like to say, in relation here to, I want to say, we're going to listen real quick to this video of Joe Biden before we go further. And this is all in relation to the Proud Boys.
Whatever the white supremacist group is, cease and desist. That's not who we are. This is not who we are. His message to the Proud Boys and every other white supremacist group is cease and desist.
So you can see here, this just goes to show you how uninformed the left are. If you remember, Nadler a few weeks or more than several weeks ago had been asked about Antifa, and he said it was a myth. Okay, he said it was a myth. And now this guy here, Joe Biden, who's running for president, former vice president, he doesn't even have a clue to the reality of what's going on. He claims Antifa is just an idea, it doesn't exist. Another fool as blind and ignorant as Nadler to the reality of what's going on. But now, and then too, the media has jumped all over this, and the funny thing is with the media today, back from when I was younger, I remember the news people actually getting on hard ground, going out, digging up, finding the truth, and before reporting, making sure they had the truth and the facts in line and were correct about it, so they were telling the public the truth. Today's reporters are nothing but talking heads, idiots who read scripts. They have no idea what they're talking about, and they don't care if it's the truth. And that's pretty evident, because if you take the time to look into the Proud Boys, you would find out that the Proud Boys are a group where, right here even you have a black professor who insists the Proud Boys aren't white supremacists, as Trump takes flack for it. These are some of the stories I've been reading and looking into. But when I'm looking into it, this is the founder of the Proud Boys here in Miami, Florida. He's half black, half Cuban man, and from what I'm understanding and what I know from personal experience with the Proud Boys, that they do have black members. We have one that was interviewed on here. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's pretty clear that this is the founder guy. And like I say, I'm going to go now. We're going to just take a quick look here and listen to this guy here, who is a black member, and just to give an example, so we understand what's going on here.
This is Edwin Arthur, my LA Proud Boy chapter. I didn't always support Trump. I didn't vote for him because I didn't know he trusted. I didn't trust Hillary Clinton at all and would have never voted for him. So I wanted Trump to prove it, and he has proved it to me, and I will vote for him in 2020. So I believe Make America Great is real. I believe it's real for black people and black Americans to support making America great again. I believe black Americans made America great from the beginning. I believe black Americans make America great. So we should all model. And don't fall victim to a lot of false ideologies, race pimping, and all that kind of stuff. So I joined the...
So as we can see here, you realize that this guy's black. He's in the Proud Boys, and there's many of them. I met myself several in the Proud Boys that are black Americans. One of my son's concerns and my own concern was what we were reading, some of this misdirected information about the Proud Boys possibly being white supremacists, because that's all you see when you look and you hear about them being white supremacists, this, that, and everything. But you got to dig deep, and I don't like to pass judgment on anybody and be wrong about it. So digging deep is what I like to do. And digging deep, I found out, no, they're not. What they are, and the thing of it is, there has been people who attempted to hijack or infiltrate and then make kind of light of how can I say it, where they they acted out of line to what the principles were of the Proud Boys in an attempt to discredit them. That goes on, and we witnessed this. We witnessed this live in our own flag drop groups going on with BLM and what have you. These people try to infiltrate into the flag group and play like they're Trump supporters just to initiate trouble, to try and cause an upset, to make issues for people who are actually out there just doing peaceful things and trying to avoid all the insanity of what's going on with the left with their Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and the Democratic Party. The other thing I'd like to mention too, as far as with the Proud Boys or the flag drops or the 3%ers, for the majority, we're not protesting anything. We're not protesters. Okay, we're supporting our president. We're supporting the platform of the Republic of the United States of America, of the Republican Party and the Republican government of America. And that's what we are. We're a republic. And, we're true patriot constitutional Republicans who believe in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And I like the platform that research has shown with the Proud Boys, that this is what they stand for. And interesting enough, the founder of it out of here in Miami, which I think many of us need to understand something. This guy is a half black, half Cuban, and his family's ancestry understands very well socialism, communism, and what the left is pushing with its Antifa and its divisiveness with Black Lives Matter. He understands this from his family's direct history from Cuba. They fled Cuba's socialist government to come to America, not to be subject to things as Antifa and socialism again. They came here to be Americans, to assimilate to American culture and values, to accept our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution as Americans. And that's what they want to be, is Americans. Now, I understand and they understand, and it's clear with their chapter, which I'm going to play in this video, that you understand. They identify as their cultural relation to that of their cultural values of their ancestry, but they consider themselves first and foremost Americans, and they're proud of that. That's what they're Proud Boys. They're proud American boys. Okay, and the majority of real true immigrants of Cuba descent and those of Venezuela who come here, they are proud to be Americans. In the past in our history, those immigrants coming to America were coming here fleeing oppression of socialism, communism, dictators, and totalitarian regimes out there in the world. And they were fleeing it not to come here and have it here, or to bring it here, or to bring it here and still support it here. They came here to be Americans. They came here because they wanted to assimilate to being Americans, and they wanted to embrace the American ideology and theology of principles and values of liberty and justice and freedom for all, under a free capitalist republic as ours, and that's what they came here to do. They came here to support America, be American, and love America, and have their children and their posterity after they're coming here be born Americans. Okay? We're going to listen real quick to a clip here. This is the group in Miami with the Miami founder, it's just listen to this guy real quick here.
Came over here, they didn't do this. They tightened up their belts and they went to work. A lot of people coming here now, they do this.
None of our families came here illegally, So why not do the
I just want to back up to an area.
That's something nobody ever covers. Maybe
right here.
Group or white supremacists. So how does that make you feel?
As you can see, the white supremacy thing, I don't even have to argue that. 90% of the people sitting in this room are Latin or of Latin descent.
How many of you guys are Latino or like self-identifying? Almost everyone. How do you identify even?
I'm an American of Cuban descent. I'm an American. American who happens to be Latino. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. Because I'm born here, I'm raised here. My allegiance is here.
if you think of it, all Latinos are basically what? Displaced Hispanic.
Were most of your...
So as you can see, and they say this proudly, that's why they're the Proud Boys. They're proud to be Americans, okay? Everybody here came from somewhere else. But everywhere in the world at the time this nation was founded was that of a totalitarian type regime ran by either a monarchy, a dictator, a supreme ruler, or what have you, who wanted to enslave his society of people under his control. America is a free capitalist republic, a constitutional republic, and where we the people are the governing, our Declaration of Independence makes it very clear that we the people are the governing over that of what we entrust to govern for us. Okay? Our government is not a government that's been instilled to dictate over us, to tell us what we can and can't do. Our government is there to do the governing job of what the task is we hand to them as the people. We're the highest authority as the people. And people and immigrants who come here, they come here to be like that, free, totally free. Okay, they understand and they take their response. And I know many great immigrants of Mexican descent, of Latino descent, of Cuban descent. I've known in my life many, and I know many good black conservative Americans as well. But it's like even with the Proud Boys and myself, I don't like distinguishing people as being Cuban American, black American, Asian American, or what have you. If we're in America, we're just Americans, because we all know we have an ancestry that goes back to somewhere. Okay, and if worst case scenario, we all can go back to Ugg, the freaking caveman. You know what I'm saying? So we all come from somewhere. We understand that. But when we leave a place because of its ideology conflicting with that of humanity, and not doing the right thing of humanity, and where, like we say and we declare that, all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These things are our values and our principles that not everyone in the world shares. Dictators, totalitarian regimes, communist countries, they don't share in those values. They want for their government to be the ultimate power over the people. The Proud Boys don't stand for that. And what the Proud Boys have done is they've presented something that I can say in the last 10 years I've seen a dying need for. Now, I was very careful in the beginning with them because I didn't want my son or me, neither one of us wanted, because, we have a very diverse family ourselves. We don't want any kind of racism in our family. We didn't want to be associated. So we've really taken some time to look into who the Proud Boys are. And I got to say, they're a good American group. That's what they are. They're Americans. And they're Americans who are sick of sitting by while other groups that are really racist and totally anti-American rise up, disturb the peace and tranquility of the American people, destroy, burn down cities, riot, loot, and what have you across this country, and nobody does nothing about it. And the news and the media lies and tries to say they're peaceful. Okay? The Proud Boys, in my witness and understanding, are not racist, okay? Because when I had my experience with the Proud Boys, which we had several weeks ago here in one of our flag drops, they had inclusiveness in their group, because there was black Americans in that group, Latino Americans, white Americans. Everybody was in the group that showed up with them. And there was no racism, and there was nothing but a shared community of pride in being Americans. Okay, they supported our president, they support our principles, our values, and the Declaration of Independence, and they support our Constitution. That was their priority, okay, and that was what we stood to. Now, we had an issue that took place where we were doing the flag drop, and what you can see here, I'm standing right here, that's me. Behind me is my son, and these are the Proud Boys. Now, the issue was, me and my son, we were doing a flag drop up in Spring Hill in Hernando County, another county, and calls came through, from what I understand, to my son, that Black Lives Matter was like threatening or starting to insinuate they may be rioting in downtown Newport Richey. Newport Richey, as you can see, like in St. Pete, what's going on right now, what they've done down in like Tampa in some areas, or out in Oregon and areas in New York, you see they go into areas where people are trying to enjoy their fruits of their labor. People who work all day, go out in the evening, want to have a nice dinner, relax with their family, and put the chaotic insanity of the world away for a little bit and just sit down and relax. These people want to come in and disrupt that, knock people's plates off the table, destroy businesses, and cause riots and looting going on in cities, because that's what they've been doing for months. We didn't want to see that happen, and as well, too, they were getting aggressive with some of the elderly in the flag drop group. We don't want to have members dropping off from the group because they're afraid to come out because of these people. So the Proud Boys were notified on this, and so was a small group of biker gang that was in the area in Newport Richey, and everybody decided to go down and meet up there and see if we could, resolve the issue. What happened was, too, with them, they started to attack the police. They actually was attacking on the police department down there. And so we all got together and we took to a march to push them back out of the city so that the people can enjoy their dinner without any upset and we let the people know that we're there to support the president, we're there to support the country, we're there to support what we believe in American values. I'll play a little clip for this. This was more than several weeks ago in Newport Richey, Florida.
I mean, it's devolved into this, it's just crazy. Patriots, Trump supporters, bikers, Proud Boys chanting USA in the downtown Newport Richey area after defending police from Black Lives Matter, BLM, Antifa, Pasco County. Look at this.
USA! 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 USA!
So that was when we had to go down and confront with the Black Lives Matter. But just so you know, this ended peacefully. The people who were in the inner city area of Newport Richey got to spend the rest of their evening enjoying their dinner with no concerns or worries. And the police, the whole thing was calmed down, and we went back up to where the flag drop was, and we dispersed out as long as we had the issue under control, and there was no further incidents going on to disrupt the public or the businesses in that community. We weren't going to have it. And I got to say, I got that night to spend time with several of the heads of that group of the Proud Boys, and I had questions. And you know, I'm a very blunt guy. I stated out my questions right out directly to some of the guys, and you know what? They were very open to talk to me about any of the rumors I heard and dispel any of the fallacies that were told to me. And you know, one of my main, like I say, issues, and my son's issue, was concern about racism, and they seemed to have made sure that there was no questioning that, because they had several members, more than several members, who were Black Americans and other races in there, in the group, who were very proud and expressed to me they were very, very proud to be Proud Boys. So this kind of, you know, meeting it, seeing it face to face, speaking with the people in the group face to face, and I did even speak with one guy for a while, and I said to him, you know, about some of the things where we've seen certain things, and like he said, if we look, we'll notice that they're not really in the Proud Boys of Terror. They're not really with anybody official from the Proud Boys group, and we understood this, and we came to see the reality of this actually too, just 2 weeks after this incident happened. Just real brief, I want to get into what took place. You know, we had an incident where the Black Lives Matter had gone and I guess got together and tried to play like they were coming to the flag drop to support the president, when in truth they were coming to play like Trump supporters, dress up like Trump, so that they could march down and yell out racial slurs and this, that, to try and make it look like the group was a racial group. And then they actually had somebody who was doing like an online media reporting on this, who was tracking this with them, to try to make it so that, and they did a story the next day to make it look as though that group was like we had acted racist, when in truth it was a Black Lives Matter. And my son had found out that the guy who actually led this, he has video of this guy who was actually doing a Black Lives Matter speeches with Black Lives Matter that proves he was with Black Lives Matter. He was not truly a Trump supporter or a patriot, and they just staged this act to try and make the Trump people look bad. And they were able to play on the minds of new people who just came into the group, who it appears were drinking and getting a little too rowdy and a little stupid, and maybe they were racist. We don't know. Maybe they were part of the whole plan. We really never figured that out. We just became evasive to it and just kept on with the positive goal of what we had to support our president and keep support strong for our president and make it publicly aware. And that's the purpose of this, and that's what I'm saying. The flag drops, the Proud Boys are there to support the president, support the country, support the Constitution, support the Declaration of Independence, and they're putting out a platform, and where young posterity of American, like when I was a young kid, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and we had little street sect kind of groups that got together, and when I was younger, you were proud to be an American. You are a minority. If you weren't proud to be an American, you were a minority, and you were an outcast. And I'm not talking black minority. You were a minority in a population, because everybody, black, white, yellow, green, purple, and red, was loving America when I was younger. You loved America. Everybody loved America because everybody understood there was no place like America in the world. It's the greatest country that ever was and is right now. It still is. It can be much greater because we've seen in the past where it was greater. And another fallacy, people, they all lay on Trump about make America great. Well, let me tell you something. Donald Trump was a great fan of Ronald Reagan. And it was Ronald Reagan, who I remember as a young kid, who's the one who how do you put it? He's the guy who started the phrase of make America great again. Because we have been to our peaks of greatness, and we've fallen for those greatness. And most of the times that we've fallen from greatness is when we're under Democratic control. History proves this to a fact. I have a video I plan on making about the Democratic Party and who they are, where they stem from, and what they've done in this country. I said this in my last video, but it's still in production, that video, and we'll get to it. So people can look at that and make their own judgment call on what I'm stating, that if it's fact or fiction. But anyway, back to the Proud Boys. And what I found with the Proud Boys, I support the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys stand on a position, from what my understanding is, as I've been told by them, what I've witnessed with my own eyes, from what I've seen with them and spoken with them. They stand on the principles of our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution as proud Americans. Okay? And the evidence exists. Now, you know, we have the things going on here, like right here is an issue. This is Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Now, you got Joe Biden trying to say that, you know, we're causing the problems. Proud Boys are causing the problems. 3%ers are causing the problem. Patriot Americans who are not protesting anything. We're just out supporting our country's founding government principles of a republic. Okay, we're just rallying for our president, supporting our government, supporting our values as Americans. We're not protesting. These people are protesting. And they're protesting that of the government of our country, and they're protesting. Now, we can accept if there's a rhetoric with government, you have a right to protest. But to blame the country, the American people, the principles and the foundings of our country, and who we are as a republic, the people, we're not the ones. And to burn our flag and disgrace our country and our nation, and to confound our posterity with their values and principles and pride of being an American, no, we don't stand for that. Okay, and the Proud Boys don't stand for that. They're the ancestors of immigrants who came here. Their ancestors were immigrants that came here oppressed by these socialist, communist, totalitarian regimes out in the world. And their posterity, they're the posterity of that ancestry of immigrants. And those immigrants have shared with their children the understanding and the wisdom of why they don't want anything to do with that. And as you've seen in the video we just showed of the Proud Boys, the one which, if I need to go back, I can go back to it and show you here, where this guy makes it pretty clear that, you know, they're first Americans.
White supremacists. So how does that make you feel?
As you can see, that the white supremacy thing, I don't even have to argue that. Like 90% of the people sitting in this room are Latin or of Latin descent.
How many of you guys are Latino or like self-identifying? So almost everyone. How do you identify even?
I'm an American of Cuban descent. I'm an American who happens to be Latino. Because that's
So you can see what I'm saying. See, they understand. And then as well, that exists as well with the blacks in the Proud Boys. They understand. Many of them don't, you know, today, many of the conservative black Americans don't even like to be called African Americans. There's many of them you see saying like they were never even to Africa. And they understand that the ideology today in Africa, under the Islamic rule parts of it, there's still black slavery going on. So they want nothing to be associated with Africa whatsoever. It's only the ignorant left that really, like Joe Biden, have no clue of the reality of what's going on in this world or any of the ideology of the countries around us. Joe Biden supports communism in China. Joe Biden supports the totalitarianism of Islam, okay, which is exactly right now. If you were to do a search for today, modern day slavery taking place right now, you will find that in the Islamic states, this very day, they are buying, selling, and trading in black African slaves. You can buy an African slave, is my understanding from online news resources, the things I found, is for $400 right now today. You can buy a white sex slave. You can buy slaves like the people that were in Iraq. There was a group, the Yazidis in Iraq. The women are being sold as sex slaves by the Muslims over there. So slavery is still going on with groups that the Democrats are very supportive of and are in the Democratic Party, the Islamic States, in this very day. Okay? So, and these are things it seems that the left is totally avoiding even wanting to confront or consider. They don't even consider these things. But most of the right, from my understanding, care and take the time to do the research and look into the facts. Okay? We care about the truth and the facts. Okay? And we value and we're proud to be Americans. All of us together. 3%ers, Proud Boys, not all, like I say, just like Proud Boys, the 3%ers, and many patriot groups. There's many fakes out there. You got to be careful. You got to know who you're talking about. Okay, and most of those aren't really fakes. They're people who intentionally infiltrate into the group to try and make the group look like something it's not. Okay, they try to get in so they can look like they're represented by the group, and then they do something with, you know, like they say, if you look at the video here, we're going to continue that video here and listen to what the guy says about if somebody comes in a racist, they'll kick him out.
was Edwin Arthur, my LA Proud Boy chapter. I didn't
Just let this
always
play
support
through.
Trump. I didn't vote for him because I didn't know he trusted. I didn't trust Hillary Clinton at all and would have never voted for him. So I wanted Trump to prove it, and he has proved it to me, and I will vote for him in 2020. So I believe Make America Great's real. I believe it's real for black people and black Americans to support making America great again. I believe black Americans made America great from the beginning. I believe black Americans make America great. So we should all model and don't fall victim to a lot of false ideologies, race pimping, and all that kind of stuff. So I joined the Proud Boys. I looked out and tried to find them for 4 months because I believed in their ideology. And when I found them, they treated me like a brother. All love. We're mixed between all different races, ages,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
and sexualities. We are gay members, Asian, black, Hispanic, and there's not one Indian. There's not one racist, redneck, Nazi that I've met.
Find him and we'll keep it out.
So, and I've been called more racist, redneck Nazis.
So as you heard right there, the one kid said, and it's true, I've spoken with the members, and pretty much I've been assured by most of the people I've met and the heads of the group of what I met here in the Pasco area from the thing, and then speaking with some afterward, that if they were to come across a racist in their group, they pretty make it clear to them that this is an inclusive group of Americans on American principles and values, and that's what they stand on. And in this country, in America, there is no color, there is no race, no creed. Okay, there's just one people. One people. Understand that? Joe Biden, you watching this? Maybe you need to understand. One people. One nation, under God, indivisible of people. There is not black people, Asian people, Jamaican people, or any other. American people. We all understand we have an ancestry that comes from somewhere. But right now, for 244 years, and under this country of which we the people are the governing force and power of, we establish this country as one people, one nation of all equal. The Americans. That's who we are. Okay? There is no color. Okay? You the Democrats divide people by color, by creed, by different nationality and religions. You're the ones who use all these divisive measurements. And if you want to talk about, like here you see in the background imaging, this is what you and your Antifa and your Black Lives Matter do. And you don't see the videos like this of the Proud Boys or the 3%ers going around disturbing the public's peace and tranquility. This is what they do. They do it all over. You look in here. Right here is Antifa riots again. Leave destruction in downtown Sacramento. Here you have the thing in Portland where you see how they drag the guy and his girlfriend from the car, and then this guy comes running up and kicks this guy. Nearly almost killed this guy. This is the violence that comes out of Antifa and Black Lives Matter. This is what's going on. Okay? We had a patriot that was shot in the back and killed in Portland. Okay, by a guy. Luckily, they caught the guy and arrested him. But you can see by here, this is the insanity going on with Antifa. The mythical Antifa that, Joe Biden says really doesn't exist. It's just a theory, like a thought, an idea. And Nadler says, too, it's just an imaginary idea. This is all imaginary, people. You're not seeing what's going on right here on the screen. This does not happen because that's not real. But yes, it is real. I got news for you. And this is the destruction, the rioting, the looting, the harm, the fear being instilled on the American people in the communities where this is going on and being motivated, pushed, and supported by that on the left, the Democrats themselves. This is their doing. This is their inciting. This is their people, okay? These people are supporting Joe Biden. This is all of these people you see here doing this. They're Joe Biden supporters. They're Democrats, not Republicans, not Proud Boys, not 3%ers, not patriots of this country. These are the anti-American socialist scum that are doing this. And it's happening across the country. But as I say here, you listen to this guy.
It's clear.
My message to the Proud Boys and every other white supremacist group is cease and desist. That's not who we are. This is.
So I just want to play that so you understand. He calls them a white supremacy group. This guy is so out of touch with reality, he doesn't even take the time, and obviously nobody in the Democratic Party has taken the time, kind of like the mistake they made with Candace Owens. Does everybody remember when they were calling Candace Owens a white supremacist before they knew she was a black American conservative? They were calling her a white supremacist. I remember watching the bloopers of people in Congress talking about when they were asked about, well, what do you think about Candace Owens? They're like, she's a white supremacist. Because they just assumed by her values and the way she spoke and the way people were talking about her that she was possibly a white supremacist, okay? But they had no idea she was a black conservative, very intelligent and smart woman. And when she showed up on Congress, you could see the jaw drop on these idiots who were calling her a white supremacist when they realized she's a black American woman who's very, very smart and doesn't take no crap from nobody. She pretty much walks circles around these idiots in the Democratic Party when they try to attack her. I love that little girl, but, you know, she's a true American. But this is the same thing. This guy here is trying to lay the same groundwork on the Proud Boys. He's trying to say that they're racist without even knowing that, or taking the time to find out the facts of truth, that the Proud Boys clearly, as can be seen, right here, they're inclusive.
With Edwin Arthur.
There you go. And he's just one. He's just one of many. I've met several myself here in this debate because I had that question too. And I had several members there who I got to meet that were black Americans or just straight up Americans. Look, the color thing is it's like with the Proud Boys and the 3%ers, most of it, we're inclusive. We don't care to be recognized as white, black, yellow, red, or orange, or any goddamn color American. We're just Americans. But we understand for distinguishing reasons of the Democrats, you have to use these identifiers because that's what they base people on. They're the ones who like to identify people by their color, their creed, their national origin. They don't like to identify people as just being Americans, okay? They're the ones who are the problem in this country in all truth. But like I say, when you look at the issues that are going on, Antifa members arrested for looting in Austin amid nationwide riots. Nationwide riots, really? Does Joe Biden even read the freaking press? Does he even go and do any research at all on what the Antifa, the mythical Antifa, like it's a freaking unicorn or something, like it don't exist? But yet millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of businesses have been destroyed in major cities across this country by Antifa rioting, burning down, attacking people, dragging people from their cars, disrupting people on the way to work, disrupting people trying to have just peace and tranquility after working. The people who fund, support, and are the foundation of this country, having their lives ripped apart and upset by these crazy, insane, left-leaning, Democratic-supporting freaking Antifa and Black Lives Matter groups who are doing nothing but destroying every place they go. But yet he calls those peaceful protests. Peaceful protests. You know, right here, as you see, like here, arrested for looting and amid nationwide riots, right? Antifa may be part of Democratic power grab. Ooh, do you think so? Do you think so? Finally, somebody's saying the truth here. Somebody's recognizing the truth, especially when you realize that, you know what, they already discovered that the majority of all donations going to Black Lives Matter were tied directly to that of the Democratic Party and Joe Biden's campaign. This is where a lot of that money was flowing, and they know this for a fact. But yet, he plays as if this is all a mythical group that nobody knows anything about, right? Joe Biden doesn't know nothing about Antifa or Black Lives Matter, but yet millions of dollars being donated to these organizations and groups go to the Democratic Party, but they know nothing about it. Cut me a goddamn break. I'm not buying it. But anyway, I just wanted to, I want to end this now with that. I'm going to say that in my own experience with meeting with the Proud Boys here in Pasco County, I support the Proud Boys. I support what they stand for because I support the Constitution of the United States. I support the Declaration of Independence. I support inclusiveness of what our nation's founding principles are of one people, of all equal. And that's what the Proud Boys stand for, one people of all equal. But the one thing I do also well support the Proud Boys is we're not going to take any crap from anybody. You understand? If you're going to come in and threaten the elderly and the people in communities that are working class people who own these businesses and all, and we're in the area, we're going to stop you. We're not going to let you destroy people's businesses. We're not going to let you burn down people's cities. We're not going to let you disrupt people while they're in their peace and tranquility. Because, you know, we have some incidents like we had just last week, which the Patriots went up to St. Petersburg over here for an opening of a new section in the city where Black Lives Matter came in and tried to disrupt. And the Patriots were there to try and intervene on that and stop them from interfering with people who were out enjoying their peace and tranquility. Okay? And I think, in my opinion, that the Proud Boys is a good organization that many Americans are hungry for, starving for, and Mr. President, you should support them. Okay? Because you know what? We aren't protesting anything. The 3%er, the Patriots, the flag drops, we're not protesting anything in this country. What we're doing is we're standing to the values and principles of our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. And that's what we stand for. Okay, and that's what we honor, and that's what we want. And if anybody's going to come in this country, okay, you know, and they're going to try and upset that balance, and they're going to try and degrade that balance, they're going to try and degrade our country, mock our flag, mock our founding principles, we as Americans have a right to defend our values, our principles, and our culture as Americans. And we will stand to defend that with our life if need be. And that's what you people on the left need to be starting to understand. We do not support socialism. We do not support communism. We do not support totalitarianism. This is America. And if you don't like America, you don't love America, you can't honor and respect America and the Republic of the American people, you can pack your shit and leave. That's it. And if you want to come and you want to start riots and fighting and stuff like that, I believe and I think it's something much needed. And I would encourage anybody of the 3%er groups or any Patriot groups to join with the Proud Boys. After looking into and seeing the truth and the research and talking with the leaders of the Proud Boys, of which I had the honor of doing that more than a month ago now, several months ago, where in the video where I showed you, we had the incident where the Proud Boys were here and they came into Pasco County to assist us in getting matters with Black Lives Matter and Antifa under control, you know, because they were literally upsetting the
Look at this.
the elderly people.
USA! USA! USA!
You know, this video right here, as you can see, I back up here. The Proud Boys came in, as well as there was a group of small bikers as well that were in the Pasco area to get the incident under control so that the businesses here in Pasco weren't disrupted by this. That's the Proud Boys. That night, that was me in the beginning of that. I'm in the red shirt with the red flag. I got to spend a lot of the evening speaking with several of the heads of that group. Very, very good guys. Very respectful, knowledgeable of our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, and our American principles and values. These guys, they had, there was other people that was obviously probably Antifa, left-leaning, were being very out of line with the Proud Boys, and I watched that to observe how they handle it. They made it very clear to these people that, look, you have a right just like us to a First Amendment to say your piece. I'll listen to your piece, but all I ask is you listen to mine and you respect it and equal. Okay? They had no gripe, you know, but I'll tell you what, the whole deal of it is, and I agree with it, I'm standing with these guys, I'm that Republican right there. I'm that Republican. If you want to come in, you want to raise hands, you want to start harming people, I got a right, I got a legal obligation to defend the innocent in this country. And in my state of Florida, I have a right to stand my ground. Okay? And we all have a right to stand our ground. And everybody in America should have a right as an American to stand their ground, to defend their American principles, values, and culture as Americans. This is our country. We are Americans. If you don't like it, you can leave our country. If you want socialism, go to hell to Venezuela. You want communism, go to China. Because it's not happening here. Okay? We're the American people. And we have a right to our country. And we're sick of people kicking sand in our face in our damn country and expecting us to sit back and be silent about it. We're not silent no more. We're not going to be silent no more. And I stand and I support the Proud Boys on their move. I support their move. I support their position of standing their ground. And we all should be, as Americans, standing our ground. Enough is enough. And I'm sick of all the lies of the media, and I'm sick of this vice president who's nothing but a clown who doesn't even know the truth. These guys are inclusive. It's clear they're inclusive. Anybody who takes 10 minutes of research into the group can find they're inclusive. They're American patriots. That's who they are. And they're sick of people kicking sand in the face of America. They're true, loving American patriots. That's my take on the Proud Boys. And I think the president should stand with these groups. These groups involved, it's like I said, many of the 3%ers are going into the Proud Boys. It's a group that we feel is inclusive to the ideology and the principles and values of what the 3%ers stand for. So, you know, there'll be a blend of patriots and Proud Boys. And that's what the Proud Boys are, proud American boys, okay? That's what they're standing for, proud Americans, okay? And there's nothing wrong with being a proud American. And if you think there is something wrong with being a proud American, pack your shit and leave the country. You don't need to be here. You can go somewhere else where you feel like you can be proud of that country. If you're not proud of this country, There's a whole world out there for you. America's just one nation in the world. You got your whole pick of all you want to go be proud of. Go pack your shit and leave. Nobody's holding you back. You got the right to your pursuit of happiness. Pack your shit and leave. But if you're going to come in our country, you're going to come in here. You're going to come here and respect our country. You're going to respect our flag. You're going to respect our Declaration of Independence. You're going to respect our Constitution. And you're going to respect our culture, our values, and our ways. If you don't, you can get the hell out. That's it. And if you think you can disrespect Americans, that's not happening no more. We have had it, okay? We have had it. We're not going to be silent about it anymore. And that's my take on it. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I'll include links to what I have up here for people if they want to go research it and look into it. And I advise everybody do your own research. You're going to find out the vice president and the Democrats are idiots. The news media idiots calling the Proud Boys a racist, a white supremacist group is so ridiculous. The founder here in the Miami group is half black and half Cuban. There's many black members, many Hispanic members, Chinese, Asian members. I mean, it's just ridiculous to try and say. They're American Patriot Group, inclusive of all people. You know what America is? One nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Okay? We're one people as Americans. That's what we are. There is no color. There is no foreign origin. There is no foreign nationality or values. Americans. Like you heard the one Cuban guy say, he's an American first, but he's a Cuban American second. We have to have these titles because that's how the Democrats like to identify people, by dividing them by their differences. They're the divisive ones, not the Republicans. So let's get it straight. And Joe Biden, really, get a life, you freaking idiot. Get a life. I'm so sick of all this stuff. I really am. But anyway, thanks everybody for listening to my video. If you got any reason you'd like to comment, you can comment below. You got anything you want to say, you can say it below. I'm open to debate on it, and I'll be civil about it. But let's just keep it real and keep it to the truth and the facts. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great day. See you next time.